Hey y'all, it's Crystal from Triple C Creations Crafty coming to you from the beautiful North Georgia mountains. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday here, nice fall day. I don't think it's going to get too hot. Excited for this video. I think this is going to be the last of my fall videos. I don't have another one in mind. I don't really have anything on my heart to make after this. And I am so ready to start making Christmas videos after I have had some Christmas hauls, and so I'm ready to start that. But we are making this cute little pumpkin, and you would be surprised at what I made it with. Now, I have seen these made out of toilet paper rolls, but you know, after 2020, I don't want to waste toilet paper. And I'm just like, no. This is cute though. Look how little this is. So this is made, whoops. This is made using, oh my gosh, using a pool noodle. You can tell it's heavy on top because of the stem. So this is a pool noodle, and I went to the Dollar Tree, imagine that, and I got this was out for Christmas. It was not my Dollar Tree, I promise. This was a Dollar Tree one town over. They actually had these out for Christmas. They had red and green and white, and so I got the white one, and I got home and I was like, because I had an idea if I was going to make these, and then I was like, how am I going to cut it? And y'all, you would be surprised. Like, the first thing I tried was I took my scissors and I just cut it, and it worked. Now, this is a regular size pool noodle. It's not like one of the super giant ones. It was $1.50, because you know things at the Dollar Tree have gone up. They're no longer $1, no longer $1.25. It could be $1.25, $1.50, or $1.75 for their dollar items, and then their other things have gone up to, I think it's $7. So now this one, I could measure this one. This one, it was about, looks like 1.5 inches. But you could make taller ones. So I'm going to make this one a little bit taller. So I'm going to go maybe up here. And look at that. I mean, I was so shocked. No special tools. And I'm going to maybe cut this up later for, because we're going to make these at church. This is going to be my next church project. But now I'm going to have a tall pumpkin. Okay, so then the idea was, do I want to use the same fabric, or do I want to do a different fabric? So I'm going to let you in. I love this fabric right here. This is absolutely one of my favorite ones. And this is the only piece I have left. So I'm going to make a set of pumpkins, and I'll have to make a smaller one, but I'm going to use this. And so then I thought, what else do I want to use? So I have all of these orange colors, but that's not really going to match this. All right, so I went and pulled out some blues and some reds and just started laying my fabric with it to see. Yes, I have a lot of fabric and I never sew, so. But I use these for appliques. When I do appliques, you need all different colors, because you want all those different pieces to be different colors. So started laying them, and then I was like, I went back to burgundy, and I'm like, I think I'm going to use this. So I have a little scrap of this. I hope it's enough, but I think it is. And it's a good way to use up my scraps. So I'm going to, now you're going to get some ripping noises. This is not very wide either. This is only about 22 inches wide. So I'm going to put this one to the side. I'll have to use that on a smaller one. And I'm just going to make a little slit here. I tore mine about 1 inch. Now, you can do wider if you want. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple, because I know that's not going to be enough. So on the small one that I did originally, I used a piece of fabric that was the full, like 36 inches wide, I think. My mom's a quilter, and I've bought tons of fabric. Not lately. I buy a lot of fat quarters. So I should know like how wide basic fabric is. And it took almost 2 whole lengths of it for this one. So it's going to take several of these. And you could cut them if you want. But I like this. And I'm just going to keep on. You could even like change fabrics in the middle of it if you wanted to. But I'm not going to. All right. So I have my hot glue gun. Look, I got out my rigid hot glue gun that my husband got me for Christmas. And the way I did it, and you can take it or leave it, is I just put a little bit of hot glue on this the salvage end and stuck it down in the middle. And then I started wrapping. Now, one of these ends is not going to have, like one end's not going to be tore. So when I use that one, I'm just going to overlap the end that's not tore. Now, if you want the straight ends, that's fine. You could cut it. You could use a rotary cutter. A little bit more difficult because this one is taller. I didn't think about that. The other one was pretty easy to poke through. All right. So, but I could still do it. I could still do it with my fingers. I also have some tweezers. If you have a weeding tool. You know, I've lost my favorite weeding tool. No, there it is. Here it is. See it? Oh, my favorite weeding tool. I got it at a yard sale or something. I say weeding tool, but you know, I use it for a lot of crafting. I originally used it for like my silhouette when I was weeding things, but then I also use it paper crafting to punch out some things. But watch this. Don't poke too hard, you will actually just poke holes in your fabric. All right, so I am down to the end. So I'm going to trim this. Now this is the way I'm doing it. You can do it another way. I'm going to trim that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and then I'm just going to stuff it inside like I started. Those little glue fingers that the Dollar Tree has might come in handy here. Oops, got a little bit of white. Now if you had pool noodles that were the color that you were doing, you know, that might be better. And then if it showed through, it'd be all right. I'm fine with this though. I got white because I didn't know what color I was going to do. You know, I did think that I might do some freaky colors like, you know, teal or burgundy or blue or black even. And it's fine as long as you're overlapping your fabric. And it's not like the kids are going to be tossing this around. You know, that actually I think they could though. I really think. I mean, it's not breakable. It's a pool noodle. Your fabric might get shifted around. I'm not overlapping mine a ton either. You could overlap it more. And, you know, if you think it's going to get handled a lot, maybe you've got little kids in the house. I don't have any little kids in the house momentarily. I will in a couple of months. I will be having a granddaughter. And it's going to be a while before she's handling stuff, though. And just when I push it through, I'm trying to untwist it. You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough to where you're not getting like bubbles in it or ripples in it. So that one was a little loose. I'm just going to tighten it up some. And you can see I'm almost, okay, I think I'm done. I'm down to the end of that one. So I'm gonna do like before. I'm gonna trim it. Trying to stay in camera. I'm gonna trim it. So that was 2 of these short strips. And it's going to depend on how tall you cut your foam. It's going to depend on how wide you tear your fabric, how much you want to overlap. So there's no exact recipe, which does kind of bother me as a math teacher. You know, when I cook, I like a recipe. I have a hard time just throwing things together. My husband does that. If it's a recipe that you have to like taste and season, then he does it. Or I cook it and then I'm like, okay, come and season this for me. I'm not one of those people. He has a good taste for that. All right. I don't even know if I'm like wrapping this from the same end every time, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So we're less than 10 minutes in and I'm almost finished. I'm probably going to have to get some more pool noodles. It's a good thing I'm planning to go back over to that other town next to me that has a much better Dollar Tree where I got this. I think I got this one there. I may have got it like a couple of towns down. Oh, look at that. Almost. But you know, I'm not gonna stretch it because I do I want it to overlap and cover the foam good. So that's okay. I'm gonna do another strip. I'm gonna go ahead and do another strip. Now because I did rip this, you got all these strings, so you can leave those on. I'm trying to pull off the worst of them before I start. But that's just me. I have long hair, so I'm used to shedding. Ooh. Yep, may want those Dollar Tree hot pink fingers. Alright, so I think that was 3 of these and then just a little bit more. Alright, so there we are. We're covered. And then I learned to use the chop saw if you watch my other videos with the 2x4s. And I just found some sticks out in the woods that had, they were down, so they were already dried out. These were not like cut from green trees. And I used the chop saw, cut some 2x4s for another project, and I cut all these stems for my pumpkins. So now these are just small enough to go down in it. Let's see, I've got a couple here. Yeah, so all of these would work. And look, even, I don't care that it's got that. I'm good with that. I think I'm gonna go back to my original one. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot glue. Doesn't take much. And I'm gonna stick that right down in there. And you can stick it down, however far you want. Now, I used some of this. This is like vine. I got a ton of this. I don't know where I got it. Don't ask. Maybe at Walmart. Probably at Walmart. I don't think it came from the Dollar Tree, I'll be honest. And there was a whole bunch of it. And it wasn't like super cheap, but I got a bunch of it. And I'm just going to cut off, a little piece of this. You could also, if you, any florals you have, like these are some from my other project. And you typically, if you're like crafting, a lot of times you don't use the leaves. But you could very much use the leaves for something like this. So just so you can get the idea, like I said, a lot of times, I won't say nobody, but a lot of times we don't use the leaves. But that would be perfect. And if I didn't want, I'm making a set, so I'm going to use the same type of leaves in mine. And I'm just going to stick a little bit of hot glue down in that crack and stick my leaves down. And then once it dries, once the glue dries, I can bend that a little bit more and make it stick down. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make the other one with my printed fabric. You don't need to see another one. And I'll come back and show you the completed set. Okay, so now I have finished the one that was out of my, my favorite fabric. And this is what I had left from that scrap. So again, it's a good use of your scraps. I tried to cut this one to where it was kind of a medium, but it ended up being about the same size. But I'm okay with that. I still think this is a super cute set. I could even do another one, and this did have some blue on it, but the way it is wrapped, you don't see any of the blue. So I'm glad I didn't go with the blue. But you could even do, a darker orange, a different orange. You could do a cream color. You could do a green. And just keep adding to it. But how cute are these? They're super light. I think they will store good. They're, they won't, if they get, I don't think they'll get crushed, if they're like packed in. Probably pretty kid safe. I don't know. I'll have to try them out. But I mean, it's from the woods. It ain't gonna hurt them to chew on that. Maybe. Don't ask me what kind of wood it is. But I just love these. So I'm excited to do this. I think it'll be an easy craft. It's definitely one that you can do with people who are not crafty or with kids. Even using the hot glue gun, you could use a low temp hot glue gun. And, if it's with kids, you could even have them just do the hot glue part and let the kids do the wrapping. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel if you've not. That helps it show up for others to see. So until next time, see you later.